When she told me she needed a week to think, I didn't argue. I just stood there in the kitchen, staring at the half-finished cup of coffee she'd left behind, watching the last bit of steam fade like the warmth between us. Her voice had been calm, practiced, almost too composed when she said she needed space. But it wasn't her words that broke me. It was the way she couldn't meet my eyes, as if one look might make her crumble. That's when I knew something was already over. That night, the house felt hollow. Her scent lingered in the sheets, her hair tie sat forgotten on the bathroom sink. Everywhere I turned, traces of her remained, but she didn't. The quiet was suffocating, the kind that hums in your ears. I'd never known silence could be so loud. At first, I tried to believe her. A week to reflect, it sounded harmless enough. Maybe she needed to clear her head, to untangle whatever knots had built up between us. Things had been distant lately, sure, but that's what marriage was. Highs and lows, seasons that pass. I told myself this was just another low. But by the second night, that lie began to decay. It started with a single notification. Our joint account had been charged at a downtown hotel. I stared at the alert for what felt like forever, convincing myself it was some mistake. Maybe she was staying with a friend. Maybe her card had been used by someone else. But when I called the hotel, the clerk confirmed it. One guest. One room. Her name. That night, I sat on the edge of the bed, phone in hand, staring at her contact photo. My thumb hovered over the call button, but I couldn't bring myself to press it. I didn't want to hear her voice, steady, polite, rehearsed. I didn't want to listen to her lie. So instead, I poured myself a drink, something I hadn't done in months. The whiskey burned slow, a punishment I welcomed. By the third day, the panic had worn off. I stopped checking my phone every few minutes. I stopped pacing from room to room. I even stopped imagining where she was or who she was with. The numbness came next, cold, clean, and merciful. It was easier that way, easier than picturing whose reflection she was watching in her so-called week of clarity. That evening, I found her tablet on the nightstand. I shouldn't have opened it, but curiosity isn't always something you choose. It's instinct when your heart already knows the truth but your mind needs proof to kill what's left of hope. The messages were there. Not many, but enough. Him. I'm counting down the days until you're free. Her. It's complicated. He's not a bad man. Him. You deserve to be happy, not guilty. Her. Maybe guilt is what keeps me honest. I stared at that last word until it blurred. Honest. That one cut the deepest. She'd always prided herself on that. On being open, grounded, real. It was part of what I loved most about her. But now it just felt like another role she'd outgrown. When she came back a week later, I was sitting in the dark living room. She didn't notice me at first, too busy checking her phone, the soft glow lighting up her face. She was smiling. That smile shattered whatever was left inside me. She jumped when I finally spoke. Did you find what you were looking for? Her eyes went wide. You scared me. Sorry, I said, my voice flat. Didn't mean to interrupt your reflection. She exhaled, tired. Can we not do this right now? It's been a long week. Yeah, I said quietly. For both of us. She dropped her bag by the stairs. I needed that time, Daniel. I was losing myself in this marriage. You wouldn't understand. I let out a hollow laugh. You're right. I don't understand checking into a hotel to find yourself. Her head snapped up. You went through my things, your bank. I read your messages, I said quietly. Her face went pale. You had no right, she whispered. I had every right, I shot back. You're my wife. Or at least, you were supposed to be. She didn't answer. Her shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of her. It wasn't supposed to happen this way, she murmured. I wanted to yell, to smash the tablet against the wall, to do something. Instead, all I asked was, how long? 3 months. The words hit the air and stayed there, heavy, final. She finally looked at me, eyes glistening. It started after the argument about your promotion, she said. You made me feel small, like nothing I did mattered. I just stared. So you punished me by sleeping with someone else. It wasn't about punishment, she said quickly. He just listened. He made me feel seen. Seen, I repeated. I was right here, Emily. Every single day. What you wanted wasn't to be seen, it was to be worshipped. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I couldn't tell if they were for me or for the end of whatever secret world she'd been living in. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispered. Then why didn't you stop? I tried, she said. But every time I thought about ending it, I felt trapped here. Like this life wasn't mine anymore. Her words should have crushed me, but oddly, they didn't. I just looked at her, really looked, and for the first time in ages, I saw her for who she was now. Not the woman I married, but someone lost, chasing thrill and calling it meaning. I nodded. Then maybe it's time you live the life that actually feels like yours. She froze. What are you saying? I'm saying your reflection week doesn't have to end. You can keep reflecting somewhere else. Her eyes widened. You're ending this. I'm not, I said softly. You already did. I'm just accepting it. Her face broke, but I didn't feel triumph, just a strange, quiet release. That night, after she left for the last time, I sat on the porch as the sun sank behind the trees. The air smelled like rain and cut grass. I could hear dogs barking, a radio playing faintly somewhere nearby, ordinary life, still moving forward. For the first time in a long while, the silence didn't feel hollow. It felt open. I thought about her so-called reflection week and realized she wasn't the only one who'd found clarity. In her absence, I'd rediscovered the parts of me I'd forgotten. Patience, calm, the ability to sit in stillness without trying to fix someone else's chaos. I used to think love meant holding on, no matter how much it hurt. But maybe real love is knowing when it's time to let go. Weeks later, she sent one final text. Hope you find peace. I didn't reply. Because I already had.